You ask dumb questions.
You are gonna taste some very bad wine.
Oh my goodness. Take it from me, this is a Lulu. I feel so sorry for the dump bucket.
We talk about good smell and bad smell. What is the difference between good smell of wine and bad smell of wine?
When it comes to good smells and bad smells in wine, it's pretty much the same as anything else. There are, however, inside of wine, smells that may be less off-putting, less bad in a way, but that do in and of themselves indicate wine that has got faults.
Short and clear answer.
I hope so. We got to get through the preamble to get to the wine.
Would you check if I have cleaned the glass properly?
So that's a very good question, and that is, have we cleaned the glass properly? Very often there are smells in a glass which in and of themselves for most people wouldn't be noticeable, except when you're tasting wine, and for others would not be considered bad smells at all. For example, if your glasses are kept in the original cardboard container in which they came, the glasses, no matter how clean they are, might smell of cardboard. And if you've washed your glasses with soapy water and have not thoroughly rinsed them, your glass may smell of soap. These glasses smell good, which means they don't smell of anything.
I don't like people putting their glasses upside down for a long time.
You should not leave it in that upside down state because it will absorb, potentially absorb flavors from your napkins, whatever it is that you put it on, your cloth that you put it on, and also that the air inside of the bowl then would also get stale.
You're looking at that camera, right?
Yes.
That's our main camera.
Yeah. But I also look at you because you ask dumb questions. I'm trying to see if you're for real.
So you are checking if I'm serious?
Yeah, I'm looking at your face to see whether you really meant me to answer that question or not.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, should we drink wine that smells bad? I mean, most people would say, you're an idiot, next.
I'm serious.
No, I get it.
If wine smells bad, can't we drink it?
There is no product of those that can cause a chemical reaction that can be really, really bad for you. Basically, the only really important poison potentially in the wine is excess of alcohol. You're far more likely to do that with hard liquor.
So we taste our first sample.
Okay. I never anticipated being in a blind tasting to taste bad wine.
Then I'll be so sorry about today. Because you are going to taste some very bad wine.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
A little more?
It's fine. Fine. One doesn't want too much bad wine. So this is old wine. You can see it's browning. So that's just on the eye. The wine is probably a little bit beyond its best. There are a couple of grape varieties that could have this kind of color at a relatively young age, but I'm working on the assumption the wine is a little bit old. So then on the nose, it doesn't smell particularly good, but it doesn't smell particularly bad to me. I don't detect any immediate and very off-putting faults. This wine is, to me, does not have any obvious olfactory flaws. Even though I know you're supposed to be pouring me bad wine, I actually pretty much like this.
Delicious.
Very nice wine. Yeah. So I was looking for faults when you first poured it, because you gave me the impression that everything you were pouring me was bad. So I was really looking hard for faults. And so that was why with just that little bit of a flat taste at the end.
It influences people.
Pardon? It does.
And I got quite impressed that you were not in the wrong way.
Yeah.
This is our second sample.
Our second sample, okay. It's also a wine with quite serious age, slightly more ruddy than the previous wine, but still tending brick, lightish color, sort of say a very dark strawberry, hints of tol and even earth tones. So I'm not expecting a young wine here. And this one definitely does have a problem on the nose.
Okay, you can feel it.
This one has a problem on the nose. And there's some beautiful fruit here in the background. Unfortunately, the wine is somewhat affected with Brettanomyces. This yeast called Brettanomyces is a spoilage yeast.
You see this?
Who assure me
I have goosebumps on my skin.
from what?
Because this is the bottle that you gave me as the sample of Brettanomyces.
Oh, okay. See, I'm consistent.
That is true.
Yeah. Brettanomyces is a really sticky yeast. When you get Brettanomyces in your cellar, it's an incredible amount of work to get rid of it. It goes everywhere. It gets into your wood, not only the wood of the barrels, but into the wood that's holding up your structure, the beams, the columns. To me, Brettanomyces is literally the cancer of wine.
What is the characteristics of Brettanomyces?
It was described as sweaty leather, horse blanket,
How about wet mice?
wet mice. So I will bow to Jay's experience of catching mice, inundating them and then sniffing them, because I do not get regular opportunities to smell wet mice.
And is it strong in this?
This is not.
No?
This is a small amount of Brettanomyces, and if I had to guess, I would guess this is a Rhone wine with some undeniably excellent fruit there, and unfortunately spoiled by one thing, an inattention to detail. Dirty barrels. Sad.
You're right that it's a Rhone wine.
It's a Rhone wine. Yeah. Very sad. This would have been delicious.
But I think that this kind of level of Brettanomyces, I think it adds a little bit of complexity.
I hope that cell for the winemaker is big enough for two.
Frankly speaking, it tastes not bad at all.
I don't want it. It's not for me. Let me give you some more.
Thank you, you're generous.
I'm trying to teach him about bad stuff in wine, and on camera he tells me how much he likes it.
There is good complexity, actually.
You can lead a horse to water, you can't make them drink.
I'm pretty sure this wine would be great with a slice of jamon.
Well,
I'm sorry, just
I would
kidding.
prefer to have my jamon with something else.
Okay, let's go to the third wine.
Okay.
It's a little bit pity I have to throw this wine away.
Is this it?
No.
Oh, okay.
This is again the pretty wine.
That's the Bretty one.
Yeah,
So you should be okay.
I'm sparing this. Actually, I know pretty well the smell of a wet rat.
Wet rat.
Yeah, because I
You don't have to tell us how you know that.
no, I had a lot of hamsters,
Oh yeah?
and at first it was just a couple of hamsters, but in several months they gave birth so many times, and they became
Wet.
30 or 40 hamsters. And they always dumped into water, and they swam and then went out, so it smelled very, very bad with
Wet
wet hamsters.
An excellent explanation. I'm not buying it.
So this is the third one.
It's another thing that we can do very often with tasters. It's considered professional. Is when you use a wine for ravinare,
Please give it to me.
you then, that's what I was going to say, you then pour it for another taster so that you don't waste too much wine.
Thank you.
So this wine is an old wine again. And whilst the wine is not oxidized, it does show that it has been perhaps open for a while. There's nothing off about the nose of this wine. I didn't even spit that. This is beautiful. I love this.
I got quite surprised by the result of this wine. Don't you pick up any VA?
You see, it's very interesting. I was looking for VA, and I don't. Do you?
No.
I get, as I say, more a characteristic of cedarwood. Cedarwood, to me, is a characteristic of Bordeaux varieties. But it's also a characteristic to me of wine that has lasted in the bottle for a while, given up some of its fruit, but not necessarily gone off.
Amazing.
That is amazing.
Isn't this incredible?
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That is incredible. That not only do we drink it 2008, we left it open for a week.
Yeah, for more than a week.
2 weeks then.
Yeah. The result that I expected is the VA from this wine. But
It was amazing. That was amazing.
I failed for it, but I'm happy with this wine.
Yeah.
Very good.
Good, eh? Woo. Okay, there's one you probably don't want to put in your mouth. So this is a wine that is amazingly affected with TCA. That's corky characteristics. You do not want to put this in your mouth.
It's like torturing.
Yeah, this is torture even on the nose, and I'm not putting it in my mouth.
And how would you describe?
So it smells like cork, like a dusty basement, like a dungeon.
Like cork.
Yeah, but it smells like bad cork. That's not to say that it allowed things to get into the bottle. It's just that the cork itself was very badly affected by TCA. Is this corkiness from the bottle, or is this you added some cork taint essence?
No,
That bottle actually smells like that?
Yeah.
A teaching moment, ladies and gentlemen. Anyone who doesn't get that is never going to get cork. This is about the worst example of cork I have ever seen in my life. That is something else.
I just found this bottle about 2 months ago, and I have kept it for today. But some people doesn't tell the difference between cork and oak, so they drink this kind of corked wine with a great pleasure.
It's an interesting comment. Some people can't tell the difference between cork and oak. If you have a look at it, there's not much difference between cork and oak. In fact, there's no difference at all. Cork is the bark of an oak tree. That's how cork is made. And so yes, if there are characteristics to your corked wine that remind you of oak,
Sorry about that.
it is.
Sorry about interrupting your speech, but you know the wind blows from that direction towards me, and it smells so bad. So I have to.
This,
I think I'm gonna vomit.
take it from me. This is a Lulu, and. Did you hear what Jay just said? He thinks he's going to vomit. And earlier on, he asked me the question, can the smell of a wine make you sick? Well,
oh yeah, I think I feel
not
sick now.
physically ill in terms of being poisoned, but physically ill in terms of...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Here
really-
I have a dump bucket, and I feel so sorry for the dump bucket, I'm going to throw the wine somewhere else.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I would be able to use these glasses anymore.
No, we need serious avinare now. Avinare. Who did this? Made with organic grapes. It was expensive, right? 90 points in Wine Spectator. Yeah, but yet I can't smell it on the cork.
That's what I felt actually. This is maybe your nose is already badly contaminated. It smells okay.
So maybe they were using old barrels and there were 1 or 2 staves on a couple of those barrels that got TCA. It can happen.
So the TCA is not from this cork.
It might not be. Look, people tell me they open wines with screw caps and they say to me, well, at least it can't be corked. No, it can be corked. Because you can put a wine with a screw cap, before you close it with a screw cap, you can put the wine in oak barrels. And it is quite possible for 1 or more staves of an oak barrel to somehow or other be affected with TCA, or something that's very much like TCA. And so even though the wine is not closed with cork, the wine is corked.
So no more torturing.
Okay.
이럴 땐 이 와인 네이버밴드로 놀러 오시면 와인을 잘 몰라도 편하고 싸게 사실 수 있도록 제가 많이 도와드립니다. 다들 만족하시고 좋아하시더라고요. 가입하는 게 싫으시면 wineking.co.kr로 놀러 오세요.